Welcome back to this dedicated space for your daily practice with A Course in Miracles in Practice.
This space of peace and learning.
Take a deep breath. Let go of the day's distractions. And join us as we step into a space dedicated to exploring the transformative power of A Course in Miracles.
Hello.
Hi there.
My week brought an unexpected moment of clarity, actually. Just recognizing a past judgment I held as simply untrue. It felt, well, quite freeing.
That sounds significant. For me, it was more about seeing how holding on to resentment really only chips away at my own peace. You know, a valuable reminder.
Definitely. So today we're diving into lesson 119 from the course.
Which is a review lesson covering 107 and 108.
Right. And after that, we'll look at a listener's question through the lens of this lesson.
That's good. Let's start with the lesson itself.
Okay. Lesson 119, 107. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. I am mistaken when I think I can be hurt in any way. I am God's son, whose self rests safely in the mind of God. To give and to receive are one in truth. I will forgive all things today, that I may learn how to accept the truth in me and come to recognize my sinlessness. Hourly reminder. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Half-hourly reminder. To give and to receive are one in truth.
So those core ideas again. Lesson 107, truth corrects errors, emphasizing that perceived hurt is a mistake and we're actually safe.
And lesson 108, giving and receiving are one. Focusing on forgiveness as the path to seeing our own inherent sinlessness or purity.
Yeah, those are the foundations for this review.
Let's unpack that first idea. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. It sounds quite powerful.
It is. It suggests that the source of our distress isn't usually the external event itself.
But our interpretation of it, our thinking about it.
Exactly. The errors are those misinterpretations, those thoughts that aren't aligned with our inherent peaceful nature, our truth.
So when the lesson says truth will correct, it's implying that aligning our minds with this deeper reality, this inner peace,
dissolves the mistaken thoughts, the errors that cause the suffering. The truth within us heals the mind.
Which leads right into, I am mistaken when I think I can be hurt in any way. That's a huge claim.
It really challenges our everyday experience, doesn't it? We feel hurt all the time.
Right. But the Course suggests this feeling comes from that fundamental mistake.
The mistake of identifying with the vulnerable body or personality rather than our true self.
Which the next line identifies as God's son, whose self rests safely in the mind of God. That offers a very different perspective on safety.
A profound one. It locates our true identity, our real self, in a place that's completely invulnerable, untouched by the world's chaos.
So the perceived hurts are happening to the mistaken identity, not the real self.
That's the idea. The errors are in our mind's perception, not in our essential being.
Okay, then let's look at the second part from lesson 108. To give and to receive are one in truth.
This principle is key, especially for understanding forgiveness in the Course.
How so? Usually we think of giving forgiveness to someone else.
Right, but this reframes it. It suggests that the act of giving, whether it's forgiveness, love, or peace, isn't separate from receiving it ourselves. They happen simultaneously because, in truth, there's no separation.
So when I forgive someone, genuinely forgive them.
You are simultaneously releasing the grievance within yourself, which means you receive the peace that comes from letting go. The giving is the receiving.
That makes the next line, I will forgive all things today, feel less like a command and more like an opportunity.
Exactly, an opportunity that I may learn how to accept the truth in me and come to recognize my sinlessness.
Forgiving isn't about saying what happened was okay then.
Not at all. It's about choosing to release the error from our mind, the perception of attack or hurt, so we can experience the truth of our own unchanging, innocent self. That's the sinlessness it refers to, our inherent purity beneath the errors.
So forgiveness is the practical tool for applying the first idea, letting truth correct the errors in our mind.
Precisely. It's the mechanism for clearing away the mental clutter, the grievances and mistaken beliefs, to reveal the peace that's already there.
Okay, this ties in really well with the listener's question we received.
Ah, yes, the playground scenario. Let's hear it.
The listener writes, my 6-year-old's toy was taken by another child at the playground. Of course, my child was angry and tearful. I thought it was a good opportunity to teach forgiveness, and that to give and to receive are one in truth. I explained that we can't force the child to return the toy, but by forgiving and showing kindness to the other child, we can end our own sadness and maybe the other child will feel sorry. My child is still upset, and I'm not sure if this was the best timing.
Oh, that's such a relatable situation. Teaching these concepts to young children is definitely challenging.
And the child's reaction, still being upset, is completely understandable. The loss feels very real to them.
Absolutely. The first crucial step here is validating those feelings.
You mean not jumping straight to the forgiveness lesson?
Right. Before anything else, acknowledging the hurt. Saying something like, wow, that must feel really upsetting, or it's okay to feel sad and angry when your toy gets taken.
Letting the child know their feelings are seen and they make sense.
Exactly. That creates safety. Then you can gently introduce the idea of forgiveness, but maybe frame it differently.
How so? The listener tried linking it to feeling better.
Which is the right direction. But the key is focusing forgiveness inward. It's something we do for ourselves to feel better, not primarily to change the other person or even necessarily make them feel sorry.
Ah, so separating the act of forgiving from the outcome with the other child.
Yes. Explaining it like, forgiving is like giving a little gift to your own heart to help the sadness go away. It helps you feel lighter inside, no matter what the other child does.
That takes the pressure off the other child needing to react a certain way.
Precisely. It makes forgiveness about the child's own power to choose peace for themselves. It's empowering.
So less about forgive them so they feel sorry, and more about forgive because holding on to the anger hurts you.
You've got it. We can explain that choosing to let go of the angry feeling is strong, not weak. It helps us feel peaceful again.
And how does the giving and receiving are one idea fit in here in a child-friendly way?
You could explain it like this. When we choose to send kindness out from our heart, even just in our thoughts, like deciding not to stay angry, well, that kindness kind of bounces back and makes us feel better inside.
So the giving of forgiveness or kindness brings the receiving of inner peace.
Exactly. It's like sharing your sunshine. Even if the other person doesn't notice, you still feel warm. It shifts the focus to the internal reward.
That feels much more manageable for a child than expecting the other kid to apologize or return the toy.
Right. The key takeaways for the child become, 1, it's okay to feel upset. 2, forgiveness is mostly for you, to help your heart feel better. 3, choosing kindness or letting go of anger makes you feel stronger and more peaceful inside.
And that connects directly back to lesson 119. Forgiveness helps us accept the truth, our own peace within us.
Yes, and it demonstrates to give and to receive are one in a practical way. Giving forgiveness yields the receiving of peace. It's an internal transaction first and foremost.
It really highlights how these principles aren't just abstract ideas, but tools for navigating real-life moments, even difficult ones like a child's hurt feelings.
Absolutely. The focus shifts from trying to control the external world, like getting the toy back or making the other child sorry, to managing our internal state through the power of our own minds, through forgiveness.
Which is where our true power lies, according to the Course.
Finding that safety and peace within, the self that rests safely in the mind of God, untouched by the playground drama.
So a final thought for our listeners. Perhaps it's about noticing where we, too, might be waiting for something external to change before we allow ourselves to feel peace.
Yeah, that's a great reflection. Where are we withholding forgiveness, thinking it depends on the other person, when maybe the key to our own peace is simply choosing to give it inwardly for our own sake?
Recognizing that giving that forgiveness is receiving the peace we seek.
Exactly. It turns the whole dynamic inward to where the real correction and healing happen. If any of our listeners have thoughts or questions that came up during this episode,
We'd genuinely love to hear from you.
please feel free to email us.
The address is ACIM@theworldharmonyproject.org.
That's ACIM@theworldharmonyproject.org.
We look forward to hearing your perspectives.